Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Brad here again. It is the 9th of May 2017. Welcome back to my apartment. I'm super happy actually. I'm super happy. It's 2 days past my competition and I'm psychologically, in the right frame of mind. I'm really feeling good. And I've had 2 days of good refeeding. So a couple of days of, just had a couple of burgers, had a few donuts, and had a few raw vegan slices and some Nutella balls and that kind of stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, I actually post all the stuff on Instagram stories. So you actually get to see what I had. And I'm not fucking afraid, man. I just put it out there. That's what I had as my post-competition refeed. So look, I've had a good day and a half so today's Tuesday, and when I walked off the stage on Sunday, I had, some protein pancakes and had a steak and, that kind of stuff, right? And then I caught up with one of the competitors that I competed with on stage, and we had ice cream and we had 2 little donuts, right? So it was good. It was really good. It was a nice psychological reward, a nice dietary break. And then yesterday I had 2 burgers and I had a small block of chocolate and I had a bunch of protein bars. I put all this on Instagram. I had a buff baked protein cookie, which is really good. And then today's Tuesday, I've just been having a bit of protein and starting to get myself back into the mindset of dieting and meal planning and that kind of thing and training again and getting ready for the very next fitness competition. But I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a little while now, and that is about how I feel about my competition coach. As you know, I'm getting ready for the world titles, which is end of next month, which is 46 days away from when I film this now. And I want to talk about how I feel a little bit disappointed with my coach in that this is the second fitness model competition that I've done, and she's never showed up to she hasn't showed up to my shows to watch or support me. And I kind of feel like that. You might think that's really kind of not worth worrying about or whatever, but I honestly feel like, I think a coach should be at the event to support the competitor. And she just hasn't been there. And it's not like she's been in a different state or she's been in a different country or she's been in hospital, or do you know what I mean? Like when I walked off the stage on Sunday, about an hour later, I gave her a phone call. I said, "Hey, guess what?" And I told her I came 5th in 2 separate divisions. And she goes, "Oh, great, awesome." And then I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "I'm having drinks at Republica." And I thought to myself, you're having drinks with your friends. You could have come down and supported, you could have come down and supported me, right? So it had me think about it. And I'm like, this is the second show where she hasn't showed up to my competition. And, it's made me think about other competitors in the sporting arena, like, Rafa, like Nadal, the tennis player. His coach, his uncle, which I believe just stepped down now after 12 years of coaching his nephew, is no longer coaching Nadal. And so, but the point is that he would show up to every tennis match, like every major tournament. Like I used to watch the tennis religiously. And I can never forget, the camera would cut from Nadal to the box where Tony was, because Tony was Nadal's coach, his uncle. And you just see this man with no emotion, just like this, see his sunnies on, and he's just kind of this emotionless face, right, watching the game. And so it was always there to support Nadal and Federer. Like these big players, like in every sport, have their coach show up and support them. And I just think, I wonder what it's like, I wonder how the athlete would feel if their coach wasn't there. And I think I feel that now because my coach hasn't been there. And I'll give you context. When I was competing on stage 2 days ago, and I was up on stage and there was a few other guys, we were all competing, we're doing the quarter turns and this kind of stuff, right? And I remember we did our back pose, and with the back pose, you have your back toward the judges. And with me, I turned my head to one side and I saw the other guys, right? And then off on the side of the stage, I saw one of the coaches, and he was there going, "Come on, man, you got this, come on." And cheering the couple of guys around me that he was coaching. He was cheering them on. And I was looking out because that so happened where my face was. And I could see him and I'm like, that's fucking cool. That's really cool. I love that. That's really cool. Like he's in it. He's supportive. He's like behind them. He's there. He's in the zone. And he's passionate about coaching. And I've seen the way he interacts with his clients. He's passionate, right? He's really like a great kid. And it just had me think about my coach. I'm like, my fucking coach wasn't even here. And then when I won 2 months ago, when I won I came first in that fitness model competition, came first in 2 separate divisions. And when the MC was like, so Brad, who was your coach? Because the coach gets the Master Trainer Award. I'm like, she's not here. So I collected her awards on her behalf, and then I delivered them to her directly afterwards. So, I'm not here to sort of whinge and bitch about it, but I just think that it reminds me of my dad, my parents are not very supportive of what I do. In fact, my parents don't even know that I compete. If you follow my series, I have talked about this, my podcast, I've talked about parents that are not supportive of what I do. And they've never been really supportive in anything that I do. So that's why I've never told them that I'm a fitness model competitor now, that I'm going to the world titles. My parents don't even know that. So I know it's sad, but when I went to university for 5 years and I graduated and I got, good marks. I was really a good student. I got a Bachelor of Science and, my dad said he would come to my graduation and 2 weeks before the graduation, he said, I'm not going to come. I can't come. And I was like, why? And he said, I'm just not going to come. And he didn't have a reason. I was like, fine. And then 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 weeks after my graduation, he flew down to Sydney to pick up a car that he bought off the internet to drive home. And that upset me. That actually upset me. It was like he would fly down to pick up a car that he bought off the internet to drive back home, but he couldn't come to his only son's graduation in the same city only 2 or 3 or 4 weeks prior. Like that actually upset me the most. And then I thought, and then when I went to flight school, because I have a pilot's license, and I spent a lot of time doing my flying exams and my commercial theory exams. And there was if you're a pilot watching this, it's hard work. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time. And I spent a lot of time trying to get my pilot's license. And then I funded everything myself. No one paid for it for me. And whenever I hit certain big milestones in my flight training, I was like, hey, Dad, guess what? I passed my flight test. I can now take passengers everywhere in the country. It's unbelievable. And his response would always be like, that's really good. I was like, man, it's much better than good. It is fucking awesome. You have no idea. This is, you know what that means? I can take my friends, we go here and here and here and here. And I'd just be crazy. And then my dad would just be like this monotone, like, that's really good. That's good. Like that. And it would drive me nuts. It would drive me crazy. And so when you, after years and years and years of achieving and then not getting that reinforcement or not getting those compliments, you get to the point where you just I don't even share with my parents now what I do. My mother doesn't even know that no one knows that I compete. Just me, I'm an only child. My friends know that I compete, like guys that I surround myself with in the gym, they know I compete and they show up to my competitions. Guys that I train with at the gym, they show up. They support me there. It's fucking awesome. But when your own coach doesn't, it just reminds me of my dad and my parents and how they don't support me. And so look, at the end of the day, this all comes down to really building a super duper, like ironclad character. Because for me, like it makes me more independent as a person. Like, yeah, I yearn for it, of course. Like I want someone there to support us. I want my coach there. But if I'm not going to get it, then that's fine because it's just going to make this guy up here a lot fucking stronger. And my parents not coming to my graduation or acknowledging my flying achievements has only made me this unstoppable force. and that's what happens. That's what that was it. That's all I want to talk about. There's nothing else I want to talk about. So if you're watching this as an athlete, or if you're watching this, if you're a fitness model competitor and you've come across this, or if you find that your coach is supportive, maybe not supportive, whatever, leave your comments below. I'm really curious to know if your coach hasn't showed up, how you felt about it, if they have showed up, if it's made a difference to your performance on stage. I don't feel like it's made a difference to my performance. It just in the back of my head, I just feel like it'd be nice if somebody was there. That's it. Nothing else to talk about. I will save it for the next video. So thanks again for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, actually watch the series. There's a lot of videos in this series. The competition day was video 54, vlog 54. So watch that video. You get full coverage of how I did on the day of the competition, the one that just went 2 days ago. And then vlog 54 for the previous series, coincidentally the same number, so vlog 54, that covered my first ever fitness model competition day, and you'll see how I came first, So yeah, thanks very much for your support, I really appreciate it, and when you send me messages, that is fucking awesome, I really do appreciate it. I never forget the names of people like you know who you are, that send messages to me directly, either through YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat, or even sometimes through my Facebook page, because I do remember those people know who you are that reach out to me directly. So yeah, even though some of you guys you've reached out to me on my birthday, that's pretty fucking awesome. So like my dad actually never contacted me for my birthday this year, but I had quite a few people, you know who you are, that wish me happy birthday as well, people I've never met in my life. So it means a lot to me. Thanks very much for your support. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in another video.